In this video, I'm going to walk you through the steps to solve using elimination method. And this is level 1. That means I'm only going to give you the very basic of problems. We'll get into more complicated problems later this week. So on the screen you can see some steps for solving using elimination method. And you can also see two examples. I'm going to walk you through two different examples here to make sure we understand. First in elimination method is what we did yesterday. When you're given a question, the first thing you need to do is decide whether you're going to get rid of the x or the y, and then whether you're going to do that using adding or subtracting. So right away in this problem, I noticed that these three y's are opposites. Opposites will go away. They will be eliminated if you add. So if I add everything in this problem, the y's will be eliminated. Well, everything else will combine. So let's do that. 2x plus 5x is 7x. Negative 3y plus 3y, the y's will cancel. And 6 plus 64 is equal to 70. So by adding these two equations, we eliminated y, which is why this is called elimination method. And what we did is we ended up with an equation that's much simpler and solvable. We couldn't solve these equations when there's two variables, but now we have an equation with one variable. We can solve that. So we just need to divide both sides by 7 and get x equals 10. So we have the value of x. It says in the directions to solve for x and y. So if we look at the steps on the screen, it says decide which variable to eliminate and which operation you'll use. I did that. I used the operation, and I did that operation vertically on each term. So 2 plus 5 is 7. 6 plus 64 is 70. The next step on that list says to solve, to find the one variable. We did that. Now the last two steps here have to deal with finding the value of the other variable. So the fourth step there says choose one of the two original equations and plug in the variable you just found and simplify the equation. So I'm going to pick this bottom equation here. So I'm going to plug in 10 for x here. And then simplify it. 5 times 10 is 50. And why would I do this? Because now I just have an equation again with one variable that I can solve using inverse operations. So I'm going to do minus 50 to both sides and get 3y equals 14. And then divide both sides by 3. And I get y equals 14 over 3. So as you can see, when we're all done with these, we have an x and a y, so we have two answers. It's really just one answer with two parts paired together. And since it's an x and a y, you can also write it as a point like this, 10, 14, 3. If we were to graph these two lines, they would intersect at the point 10, 14, 3, 14 over 3. All right, let's do another example. This one, same direction, solve for x and y. I notice my x's here are opposites, so I'm going to add. So when I add those, they cancel. Y plus negative 3y is negative 2y. And 14 plus negative 34 is negative 20. And I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2, and I get y equals 10. And then I'm going to plug in y is 10 into one of the equations. I'm going to use the top one. Doesn't matter which one you use, you'll get the same answer. The reason I picked the top one is that there's not anything multiplying the y, so it'll save me a step. Divide or subtract 10, get 4x equals 4, negative 4x equals 4. And when I divide by negative 4, I get x equals negative 1. All right, so both of these examples showed two systems of equations where we needed to add to get the variable to be eliminated. All right, so very quickly, I'm going to show you one more example here on the back, and it's going to be an example where we need to subtract. All right, so 3x plus y equals 20, and 3x plus 2y equals 22. So you can see in this question, both of the x's are the same, right? They're both 3x. Things that are the same go away when you subtract. So 3x minus 3x will cancel the x's. Y minus 2y is going to be negative y. And 20 minus 22 is going to be negative 2. And if negative y is equal to negative 2, then y is equal to 2. So now we need to plug in y equals 2 into one of these equations. I'm going to pick the top one. 3x plus 2 equals 20. Subtract 2, get 3x equals 18. Divide by 3, and get x equals 6. So in this example, it's really the same process. The only difference is that first step. When you notice that the variables that you're trying to eliminate are the same signed, then you should use subtraction to get rid of them. And I should remind you that when you're subtracting, be careful when you're subtracting, especially negatives. You know, y minus 2y is negative y, and 20 minus 22 is negative 2. Think about how much harder it would have been if one of these numbers or both of those numbers would have been negative. So really be careful when you're subtracting with those negatives. So that's all for today. Thanks for watching.